everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite or Might. I am Michael Cole, here with Tony Schiavone and with Montel Vertadius Porter. And today on Dynamite or Might, we don't know what we're going to see here today on Dynamite or Might. Michael Cole says, but I guess it's going to be a good show. You got that right, Michael Cole. Tony Schiavone said it's going to be a good show here today on Dynamite or Might. We understand that we're going to see the ongoing saga with the starting out between The Miz and Godzilla or Godzilla for some of you folks who speak Dondish. You know. Well, I don't care what you call him, Montel Vertadius Porter said. Call him Godzilla, call him Godzilla, what's in a name? You know. At the end of the day, I think that this whole thing that got started between The Miz and Godzilla or Godzilla, whatever you want to call him, you know, was all Godzilla's making. You know, it was all Xena's making. Really, truly, and stop to think of it, Montel Vertadius Porter says. And I know someone who is going to get to the bottom of all of it, and someone who is going to, at the end of the day, is going to set everything right, and that's going to be the King Sphinx, or whatever the English word for that would be. Hi, I'm the King. I can't stand up anymore. Fuck. Never think I never could. Hi, everyone. I am the King Sphinx. King Sphinx, or whatever. And I did a show a long time ago known as the King Sphinx seat. But you say court, but that's a French bar where English room would be what? Team? And today I think I'll have two folks on my show who I truly think are starting to truly hate each other. And one of them has been around since between 98 YL and the Toy Wrestling Gathering. That would be Godzilla, King of the Fiends. Now I don't know why he calls himself that. He says that's his rank. Who gave it to him? I don't know. Alright, King Sphinx. I know how this shit goes. You know, I wasn't around in the early days of the TWF, but I have a belief I knew how it went. Well, first off, Godzilla, no one really seems to know if you're a dead weight or not. But you can't be a dead weight, because to be a dead weight you gotta be dead. And we all know you're not dead. 2, you call yourself the King of the Fiends. But who called you King of the Fiends? Who called you the Kaiser of the Fiends? Well, I can tell you what. You think you're the shit because you've been making films on and off since between 53 while or something like that. I know you got a hang up with someone. Yeah, you know what you did? Yeah, you know, yesterday on NXT with you and The Miz. So I just thought that, you know, I don't think you're really that outstanding. And what I don't understand is you thought you were gonna go show The Miz some sportsmanship, some on look, and you give him a stunner again. And I don't want to hear about how, oh, well, you got to behave like Steve Austin, and that's what Steve Austin would do. Yeah, you and him behave the same way. You know, I don't really care. So I brought The Miz on the show. Alright, Miz, it seems that you don't like him. Oh no, King Sphinx. I don't have a bond with Godzilla at all until we had our match. A match that I didn't really think I was going to be in. A match at the end of the day didn't have my name on it until Xena made me fight you, which was already shaming to begin with. Then I thought, oh, he's going to come out and show me sportsmanship, on look. No! See, Godzilla, you are nothing more than a creep, a bully, a heel. You seem to think you're the shit because you made more films than anyone else. Well, guess what, Godzilla? Someday someone's going to surpass you when it comes to films. And I don't know who that's going to be. And two, you're not. And two, why would I think that anyone who has a small brain, would show anyone on look or sportsmanship or anything like that? Yes, folks, believe it or not, the deadweights may have been big beings, but they had small brains. Maybe even more smaller than their bodies. So I don't know why I would think that someone who didn't have a big brain, would know nothing about good manners. Look, Miz, you're going to talk about how big or how small someone's brain is. Yeah, you're gonna say that I have made more films than anyone else. Yes, I believe so. And if there are other folks catching up to me, I guess there is. I don't know. Well, let me tell you something, Miz. I did it because I wanted to shut you up. You're bitching, you're ranting about how so unfair life is. Life is so unfair. Life is unfair to everyone. So I don't know why you thought that you somehow would be above the unfairness. So that's why I did it. And you're not above the unfairness, Miz. No need if you happen to be a former show player, shifted wrestler, or whatever you like to call yourself. You like to go around and behave as if you like to behave as if you're some kind of well-known show player wrestler. But Miz, the last time I looked on the list of folks that are well-known for the well-known show players and wrestlers out there, it's funny, Miz, your name never comes up. And the only films you were ever in, Miz, besides The True World, which was a farcier show, the only films you were ever in was the Marine or whatever the fuck. And you know what? Those were WE films. So yeah, you never did anything. You were only in those films. You never really did that much show playing beyond what you did in The True World back in the day and what you did in those films. And that was it. Oh, well, don't forget there were 2 other films you were into. Yeah, I can't forget about that. But they were all WWE films, Miz. Well, God, Jorah, let me tell you something. You seem to think you're so greater than me. Look, I've been making films since 9 between 53 YL. The same film over and over again. Look at me. I made more film than everyone else. Yeah, that seems to be the only thing that Toho and Sony and Warner Brothers were good at. Making your shitty films, the Miz says. It wasn't, I guess, not that so hard to make a film of some deadweight busting up a Trump or a borough or a township or a town or a stead. Put another big effluent fiend. And then, God, hope Godzilla kicks their rear. But guess what, Godzilla? You weren't the first one to ever do it. I mean, yes, there was Gamera. He came after you. King Kong was before you. Hell, if I can look very far back, I think there were many other fiends that did it before you. Remember the beast of 50,000 feet? Remember that fiend? Yeah, right before you. Yeah, Gorgo. And there was Vertilicus. I could keep going on and on and on. So, you ain't that anything outstanding. If I'm not anything outstanding, Miz, how did I beat you? If a deadweight like me, who has been making films since 9 between 53 YL, somehow I beat you. Well, I can see right now the King Sphinx says you two don't like each other. I don't know why you would think coming on this show would do good. But hey, why not, Miz? Let's help him out. Oh! And it looks like the King Sphinx just hit Godzilla with his I guess you would say staff. Like some creep. And he can't stand upright, his feet are fucked up. And now this is going on, and now the Miz just gave him a skull crashing ending on Godzilla right there. So I guess we all know the Miz has a bind with Godzilla or Godzilla or whatever you want to call him. Michael Cole said, "You got that right." Tony Schiavone said, "The Miz always bitches about how he wants on look from everyone for being a show player, being a wrestler, being a husband, being a father, whatever, being a man-like being, but never wants to give any on look to anyone else, though." Tony Schiavone says, "Yeah, well, Montel Rotadius Porter says when you're on top, you gotta let it drop." Or whatever that means, you know, because no one gives him any on look, so why should he give anyone on look? You know? And I think that this bind between the Miz and Godzilla, or the Miz and Godzilla, whatever you want to call him, is going to be great, Montel Rotadius Porter says. Alright, I understand now that we're going to have Jim Ross is going to be talking with Godzilla, or Godzilla, King of the Fiends. Alright, Michael Cole, Tony Schiavone, I'm going to be talking with one of my other good friends, Godzilla, King of the Fiends. Godzilla, we know you're like Steve Austin in many ways, and we saw what happened today on the King Sphinx show, whatever. Oh yeah, Jim Ross, I'll tell you what, JR, The Miz wants to talk about on look. The Miz says he wants on look. Oh, look at him, he's a show player wrestler, he wants on look. He doesn't give anyone on look. You see, Miz, in this world, you don't get on look until you give on look. You know, on look isn't something you ask for. It's something that you give by giving. And since you have never given any on look to anyone in your whole show playing calling, your whole wrestling calling, you're not going to get any. There's a lot of folks out there who are husbands and fathers and show players and wrestlers and whatever. But they don't really ask for on look. They get it by giving it. And Miz, you behave as if you should get on look for being all those things. You know what, Miz? Until you start giving folks on look, you're not going to get on look. And until you stop bitching and ranting about the unfairness of life, you know, no one is going to want to deal with that. Now, I'm not going to go take anything away from you, Miz, and say you're not a skilled show player. You're not a skilled wrestler. You are. But your mindset, your stand, your whole, oh, I'm greater than you, so give me on look. That's what folks don't like about you. It has nothing to do with where you came from or where you are now. It has nothing to do with what you don't have and what you have. It has to do with your mindset and your stand. And until you start showing on look to others, they're not going to give you on look. Well, thank you, Godzilla, King of the Fiends. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Jim Ross, for talking with Godzilla or Godzilla here today on Dynamite or Might. And it is all the time we got here for Dynamite or Might. I, Michael Cole, I, Tony Schiavone, and Michael Cole, Tony Schiavone, and Montel Rotadius Porter. We hope you like Dynamite or Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact on XS TV or Smash and Inside Farce here.